First, Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First, we have on the docket the approval of minutes, December 3rd, 2025. Do I have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
So moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Ryan. Any discussion? They look good?
Yeah, no, they look good to me.
Yeah, they look good to me. So, all those in favor say aye.
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 I'm going to abstain because I wasn't here.
301. I'm going forward. Let's see. No public participation. So that will bring it right on to Brendan. You have your director's report, Brendan, please.
Yes, thank you. So just starting off, wanted to start off with our maintenance craftsman position that we have available or open. We interviewed 3 candidates for the position and came to a consensus on a candidate. We had reached out to the candidate to begin checking references, to make sure it was okay to check references, and at that time found that they were withdrawing from consideration. They didn't want to leave their current employer at this time, leave them shorthanded going into the winter. They were an excellent candidate. They would be interested down the road if something were to open. But in working with HR, we've made the decision to continue accepting applications, and we'll begin interviewing again in early January. We feel this is the best course of action for us at this time. We're looking for a larger candidate pool as well. So I know we've talked about some things internally, getting it out to our social media platform, as well as the town advertises through Indeed. It's on the town's website. So we're hoping that will draw some other interest.
I have a question. What are the requirements for that position?
A CDL license is required, as well as hoisting. There's a couple different hoisting to it, like the numbers. I'm not sure exactly which one it was, but in order to operate, like a forklift, that type of hoisting. We're not looking at like crane or anything like that.
So it's not entry level?
That's a maintenance craftsman position. That's what is required for that, yes. So, and obviously if, the candidate was, the preferred candidate didn't have one of those, we do work that into their hire letter that they have to obtain it within a certain amount of time.
Okay.
Quick question. Does that say that when it's on the application, like what we're looking for?
The requirements are.
License, CDL. Okay.
And then as well, there's the certified pool operator as well is something that everyone has to have as well for the wading pool. So when they work a weekend shift, they can, clean the pool, add the appropriate amount of chemicals, things like that.
Jack of all trades.
Yes. Okay.
Yep.
The other, another item I have is, I don't know if anyone saw, but the Burlington Garden Club was recently recognized for a second time this year for their efforts decorating and maintaining the planters on the Burlington Common. So earlier in the fall, they were recognized for having the most exceptional civic roadside beautification project in the state with the State Garden Club, and then recently they were recognized for the most outstanding container garden display designed for a public space across all of New England, throughout New England. We're very fortunate to have the Burlington Garden Club working with us. in maintaining those planters. They come in 3 to 4 times a year and change them out. We help them by purchasing the materials, and they do the work for us, and our staff will, they'll clean out the planters at different times and leave the bags on the common, and our staff goes through and picks them up for them. But they really do a nice job. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone, each of the commissioners knows that, one, that they were recognized for their efforts, and two, how much we appreciate the work they do. So when we go to do the sidewalks over on the common, the plan is to expand the ends of the sidewalks where each of the containers are to give them a nice flat, base. We went in and put in stone dust and compacted and stuff, but that was a few years ago. They're starting to shift a little, so having a nice pad for them to sit on, the planters, will be great. But I did want to recognize them and say we're lucky to have, such a wonderful group contributing to the beautification of Burlington. And maybe we have them in at a future meeting to
Yeah.
recognize them.
I thought that's awesome. Well,
Yeah,
Go
quick
ahead,
comment
Commissioner
through the chair. I'm always stopped at that red light, and I always look over at the planters, and they change them in the seasons. If you like to plant and do gardening work yourself, you can get some good ideas from those planters. They do such a nice job, and they're very creative. And you took the words out of my mouth. It'd be nice if we can get those sidewalks upgraded, so that everything would really look good. If people think that they look great now, they're going to look even better when the sidewalks are done. And I think that's a great idea to have a little extra, like, for example, when they're going around telephone poles, sometimes they'll put a little extra sidewalk, or curved it around, so if you're walking a child in a baby carriage, you don't have to go on the grass. That'd be nice to have the planters there on a nice solid footing, so they're not tipping, and it's easier for the workers to take care of them as well. So kudos to the Garden Club. I've admired their work over the years. I used to know some of the people that were on the Garden Club, and they do a great job, and it's nice. It's nice to have that extra look when you're driving through the town. So thank you very much for your hard work.
I'd second that, Commissioner Nelson. I'd like to just thank the Garden Club, and that's a great thing to be recognized for, especially all of New England. So continue the good work. I see them all the time up there working. So related to that, with them doing the new sign are we still in charge? What's going? I knew we were always. So what's going forward with that new sign?
So
I know they're halfway done. I thought it was going to be bigger, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
What's the?
So the electronic sign, the select board always controlled the signs that went up there. We would just hang the signs and take them down. But everything will be controlled through the select board office. It is a digital sign, so everything will go through the select board office. It will take us out of hanging, 4x8 signs, or the different sizes that would be put there, and it really cleans up that corner.
So our guys will not have to put up any more signs. It'll just be 100% controlled by the select board?
Correct.
Okay.
It was always controlled by them. They would just ask us to hang the signs.
Oh, okay.
We get the call, we had a shared document, and, whether it's the school band or, musical group, or, the players, or Scholars for Dollars for Scholars, they would drop a banner off and we would hang it.
No, I've gone in to drop off banners in your office before when we used to do fundraisers, and you used to have like 20 of them in your office. I'm like, holy smoke. That's why I remember way back when I first got on the commission, I said we
Yes.
should have a sign like that they're doing, which is good.
If anyone's listening from the middle school out there, I have the middle school banner from the show they just did, so if someone wants to come pick it up.
You know when that's going to be completed?
I don't.
I saw him work. It's been cold. I saw him working on it last week, but it seems like they just got to put the sign in now, so. All right, continue on, Brendan. Anyone
right.
else have questions on the garden club? No?
The next item, as you know, the last 2 years, we've done a Civic Expo. The Civic Expo will be back for a third year in 2027. I'm sorry, 2026, not 2027, jumping a year here. The Civic Expo is scheduled for January 14th from 5 to 7 p.m. We'll be here at Burlington High School in the cafeteria again. And the event showcases the various departments in Burlington, the boards and commissions that oversee them, and other town groups and nonprofits. We will once again be attending the event and manning a table. And if any of the commissioners would like to come for a portion or all of it, just let us know. I'll send a reminder email out. You don't have to tell me tonight, but if you want to tell me tonight, you can at
What's
the
the
end of the
time for
meeting.
it?
5 to 7.
That's a,
We're probably
Wednesday?
one of the more popular stops along the route.
Wednesday?
that's a Wednesday, right?
I don't know.
Wednesday, yeah.
Yes, the 14th? It is a Wednesday, yes. It is a Wednesday because Town Hall is typically open, and they mirrored those, that time frame, so the Town Hall employees could come.
Excellent.
And then the last item I have is the FY27 guidelines have been released, budget guidelines, and we're looking at a level-funded budget for next year. We will have an increase in our occupancy, I believe, due to the new lighting systems down at Marshall Simons on the field, the backside of Brush, lower Brush, we'll call it. So there may be some changes in the full-time salary line as well due to retirements, but we're finalizing numbers now, and we'll have a budget completed by the end of the year, and we will get that out to you for review, and it's something that we'll have on the first meeting, on the agenda for the first meeting in January to review and approve at that point. So we are working on that as we speak.
Excellent. Questions, Commissioner Nelson?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. You said it's level funded, but what's the percentage? Is it 3%, 3.5%, 2.5%?
3.25, I believe. I'm looking at Kelly, but I don't. I don't think they gave a number. They said level services, but it's usually 3.
You know probably, right?
3.25.
You're
I
right.
actually hadn't heard
Okay.
yet. I've been on 2-year vacation.
Okay.
So it's level services, not level funded?
Yes, but yes, level services,
Okay.
which they're not, increases, they're not going to, want us to do too many, if we,
Usually.
say this. I know they give us a guideline of 3, but they want us to work,
Well, it's
increases
not-
in salaries.
At least it's not 2.5. I mean, that's bad.
Yeah.
Because 2.5, that's just salaries and COLAs every year. So if it's 3, 3.25, that gives us
A little room.
bit of flexibility, which is good news.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's what they call a blended budget, so the schools get like an extra point, and so the town gets 3.25, and the schools get.
Schools
like to
get an
know what-
extra point and the town gets
Yeah,
less.
in the school's favor. But I'd like to know if you could get that information for us for our
Yeah.
next meeting. And the other thing I'd like to know for our next meeting is what, you may know it now, what's the balance right now in our free cash?
For the town?
Yes.
I do not.
I'd like to find that out, even if it's only a guesstimate. Sometimes they don't certify it for a period of time, but there's a really an impressive amount of free cash the town has accumulated over the last decade. And I think last year it was in the high 30 million range. And I'd like to know if we're bumped over to the
yeah.
$40 million range. I mean, because that's important, because some of our warrant articles could be funded out of free cash.
They did.
So
yeah.
it's not going to impact the tax rate. The money's sitting there. So that gives us a good argument at town meeting. If people say, well, we don't want to spend X number of dollars on this or that, if we can get the selectmen to say, we've got this amount of free cash, we're going to spend $5 million on warrant articles, we're going to give the rec $1 million, and we're going to give the schools $2.5 million and fire, whatever it is. So it'd be important to know what that is for our next meeting, and that way we can have a conversation about whether it's going to be these warrant articles, and we've got some big ones, whether they're going to be raise and appropriate, whether they're going to be coming out of free cash. And I think it's a much easier sell at town meeting if they're coming out of free cash, because they have no impact, or little impact on the tax rate.
There what?
Commissioner Brooks?
I support your comment, Commissioner Nelson. I think we need to fully understand the pressure for that pot of money, because I know during some of the Foxhall talks, and then again through the high school talks, there is definitely a lot of thought about reducing debt service with existing free cash. So there will be a lot of pressure on free cash expenditures for this next town meeting. So we're going to make sure we, sync appropriately with that, those expenditures, I think.
Quick question. What is the rule with free cash? Can they have an abundance of it, or they have to get to a certain point and start spending down with it?
I don't think there's any cap on it, Dave.
There's no cap.
We used to have a very low amount of free cash
I mean,
many,
that seems
many
like a
years
lot
ago.
of money. I don't remember it ever being 30
Some
million.
towns have like a separate stabilization fund, and they put money into that every year for schools. And it can
Right.
only be spent on schools, but Burlington hasn't done that yet, so it's just an open pot of money. And it used to be a couple of million, and now it's high 30s, it might even be
Well, this,
40.
here is the budget from last May's town meeting. And they've got for revenues, they've got 9.4 million for free cash, non-recurring revenues.
I think the balance was in the high 30s last year. I don't know what that, I'd have to look at that, but it was,
Yeah,
unless
I
they
mean, this-
committed, unless they made a commitment, but,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
well,
I was
well,
stunned.
this was for May town meeting,
yeah.
right? So they never got free cash certified after July 1st, wouldn't be on this number.
You're right,
So,
27 million for some reason sticks out in my head, but I don't remember
Does it?
why.
yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you, I just don't remember why 27 sticks out in my head.
We'll get that information for you, what the current free cash is. I thought they committed some for last year's warrant articles, so I don't know, exactly what that is. And, but we'll get that in a percentage increase, if there is one, on the budget guidelines. But in the initial, it was a level services budget.
It's been that way for 25 years, unless you can justify the increase.
Right.
But it's important to know what the percentage is, so.
So we have capital meeting tomorrow with the town administration discussing capital, so we can ask some of those questions at that point as well.
So any other questions for Brendan?
Not on the budget, no.
Your report, Brendan?
That is it, until we get to new business.
All right, thank you. Kelly?
Sorry, I should have said, I told Kelly, because we have the capital items to discuss tonight, not to worry about a report. Yeah, because we're going to be in discussion on this. I do have one other thing, actually, that I wanted to add to my report, and we have one of our foremen is retiring at the end of the year, Brian Cullinan. He's been with the town for over 15 years, and he is retiring. We are having a little coffee for him on Thursday morning, at 9 o'clock at the garage. I have these for you if you would, if you're available and you want to stop by down at 10 Great Meadow, we'd love to have you help us send Brian off.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brian, for your service to the town and the recreation maintenance, and good luck in your retirement. So we go to Chairman's report. I don't have anything on subcommittees.
No, do you have anything?
Marshall Simons is moving along. We've been continued again for conservation. We expect to have the new calculations rectified. So there's a drainage calculation that had to be redone based on some new borings that had to get done. So with the changes we made in the drainage areas, collection areas, so there's some new math had to get done, briefed to conservation. Once they accept, we hope to move everything forward. It's about a 2-week slip. We think we could still maintain schedule, get it out to bid, and have everything ready to go for spring. So we're looking at about a 2-week slip on the overall schedule.
It ain't too bad, you know? Thank you, Jeremy. New business, Brendan?
Yes, so our main topic for this evening is our main items are our capital requests for FY '27. Oh, yes, sorry. We have each take one, got some updated information. Wanted to, on the first item, which is the first capital, excuse me, request is our largest and probably the department's largest ever. And that is for the Simons Playground, which includes the playground, complete renovation of the playground, the wading pool, and the bathroom building. So the infrastructure no longer meets modern standards for accessibility, inclusivity, and durability. The current equipment is well over 25 years old, shows significant signs of wear, does not fully accommodate children with mobility limitations, sensory needs, or developmental differences. Replacing it with a universally accessible playground will provide meaningful play opportunities for children of all abilities and create an environment where families can participate together without barriers. A new playground will enhance safety by incorporating updated surfacing, improved sight lines, and equipment that aligns with contemporary safety guidelines. As part of our outdoor facility master plan, we had asked Weston and Sampson to put together a conceptual plan, as you may recall, for Simons Playground. And then we got into, which they provided for us. We recently, as you know, have been working steadily on the Overlook Park project, and until this past month, this was, we've had some minor conversations with some local business people who would like to shop part of the project in the business community and see if there's any interest in donating. But what you have here, I'm going to let, sorry, I jumped in. Kelly was going to present on the playground portion of this. But talk a little bit about the playground and what it entails. We have made some small edits to this and have gotten that off to Weston and Sampson. So we do have an updated one that will be coming. We are hoping to have it today. But you'll see on the front page, Kelly, sorry, I'm going to just keep talking, so sorry, yes, take it, I'm going to shut off.
So what you see as part of the conceptual plan, looking sort of from left to right, areas 3, 2, and 4 are designated play areas for different age groups. We received a lot of feedback from the community that they were looking for an active play zone for ages 13 plus. So there's a distinct age group area for 13 plus, 1, 5 to 12, and 0 to 5, which you see quite often in most of our facilities have those two options, but Simons will have the third play option for some older children. In area 7 there, that kind of blue area up in the left-hand corner, that's actually some water play, where we will have some just sort of bubbling up effects, nothing too crazy spray pad-like, but just an area for some water play and to cool down. And also, it is along our sensory trail, so that obviously goes with some of the sensory impacts. The sort of figure 8 loop that you see around the outside of the playground is our sensory trail. Throughout the trail, there are different stations for each of the senses to be able to look at some play opportunities that incorporate those specific sight, smell, touch senses to allow for some diverse play opportunities for children of all abilities. That area number 8 in the middle is slope play, where, excuse me, we're really trying to play off the terrain here to allow accessibility to all facets of the playground, so that kids with limited mobility or mobility concerns have access to the higher play structures as well. So we're incorporating the sort of hill there. There'll be about a 4-foot kind of drop along the hill for some play, and then that leads one side to the playground, the other side, that number 10 is kind of like the tree and oak grove area that's already existing up there. We want to maintain some of those trees and incorporate them in the design for some natural play space as well. You'll see some terrace seating in here along the slope play. No, on the outside of the slope play, those number 5s are terrace seating for families to be able to kind of be in the play, but without being in the play structures, right? So like you're there participating, but not necessarily in the structures with your family. All of this will be pour in place, with the exception of the gray portion of the sensory loop sort of out into the trees. That'll be some concrete areas for the path, so it'll transition from pour in place to concrete. And then you will see on the outside there is a path from the wading pool area as it exists now, and also from the parking lot to a large pavilion. That number 16 is a large pavilion where people can congregate or play. Brendan spoke about I'm sorry, a couple areas where we would like to make some changes. Putting a gate over there by the pavilion is one of the changes we'd like to make, so that families could have easy access back and forth from the playground to that pavilion. We would also like to look at potentially removing that first gate that leads directly out into the parking lot. We're not confident that we would like that gate to stay there. That's sort of the playground in a nutshell. We don't have specifics yet on the play equipment. We would like to kind of source a number of different companies, manufacturers, to kind of pick the most accessible designs for us to be able to make the facility be as inclusive as we possibly can. So we'll be looking at that in the coming weeks. Thank you so much. Thank you. And that's sort of the playground in a nutshell right now. We will be leaving that area, number 20, is that sort of outcropping of rocks that you see if you park in the parking lot. We're going to leave that alone to also allow for some natural play mixed in with the tree kind of grove there as well. All of that will be fenced in. The fence will be on the inside of that walkway number, that number 18 walkway. So the fences will be along there on the inside of the walkway. If that makes sense.
Thank you, Kelly.
Well,
Go ahead, Brendan.
Kelly gets a drink. I just wanted to add, we are increasing the size of the playground. As you know, Simons Park is our key park, right, is our showpiece. And it has shown has started to wear out, the playground. Even though it is older, we still get the majority of our crowds there. Wildwood is probably a close second, followed by Rohannes. But, we've asked to utilize the terrain here to make it as accessible as possible, utilize terrain to get up to higher elevations so that there's less, utilizing the terrain to create less ramping, but also incorporating the terrain into the play. So we have expanded out towards the trees more, so it's not going to be the same size as the current playground. It will expand, and the choice of materials for the surfacing is very deliberate in that they are accessible surfaces, the poured in place. Although the ADA says that wood fiber is, the Massachusetts Architectural Board says, no, it's not. So I think you're going to see all playgrounds being required to go to poured in place down the road. Our goal in making this universally accessible automatically was to have a poured in place surface throughout. So again, I just want to reiterate what Kelly said too, that we haven't picked specific playground equipment to go in there. This is a, a layout of how we envision it to look.
Excellent. Open up for questions, commissioners. Commissioner Nelson?
Thank you. Couple of questions. The existing wading pool, is that outside of this design that we're looking at right now?
Yeah, so if you see that sort of triangle up at the top by the water play area,
That's what I was thinking.
that is where the wading pool is.
We're going to keep that?
Beyond that,
I
yes.
assume. Okay,
Yep.
so the water play is new,
Yep,
and it looks like there's going to be a walkway that goes right through it, so it's going to be accessible?
yes. Yep.
Are we removing any ledge that's there now? There's a lot of ledge there, and it looks like we could make this playground bigger by getting rid of some of it.
So I believe in the area 20 is where you're going to find a lot of the ledge. Then there is some ledge up in the woods. But I think where we're looking to concentrate the play equipment would be in those pink zones, which had, hopefully, when the original playground was installed, most of the ledge removed in that area. There may be some, as we go through this a little bit more, and start to look at construction documents, and they do some testing and figure out what is actually there, which kind of might be a good transition point. We will talk about the bathrooms and the wading pool as a portion of this, but we wanted to start with the playground portion. But, the $4 million we're looking at, the conceptual budget is like $2,943,000 for the playground portion of it. So we're looking at about $3 million for the universally accessible playground. The renovated wading pool, about $250,000. Bathroom building, $500,000. And then design and construction management, another $250,000, which gets us to $4 million, which is where the $4 million price tag is.
That leads me to my comment that I wanted to make just before that statement. If we're going to ask the town for $4 million, we shouldn't just call it a playground article. It should be playground, bathroom upgrades, wading pool, and whatever else we can throw in there, so that the town doesn't think we're spending $4 million on a playground.
Right.
Okay, so I would recommend that we retitle the warrant article a little bit so people understand why the number is where it is.
It's park renovation on the capital thing.
Yeah, because there's a,
Yeah,
The other question I had, Brendan, and I'd like you to explain it to the people that might be watching at home. What's the purpose of presenting it in January versus May?
no, this is for May. We're
okay.
starting the FY '27, yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
I thought you were going to move it in.
No.
No, we're just
All right,
discussing.
good.
No, this one is definitely for May. So, and I think on the warrant article that we've submitted to the finance team, the town administration, it does say Simon's Park renovation
Yes.
on it. So
Okay.
we'll make sure that we include, that it's the bathrooms and the wading pool as
A
well.
lot of people understand that bathroom renovations are not cheap,
Yes.
so that would help explain why this warrant request is in the vicinity that it's in, so. All right, that's all I have for now, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
So if you're looking at the budget, if I could just, for 1 second, we included the budget, the estimated probable cost from Weston and Sampson on the back. So you'll see that that's about ballpark $2 million. In addition to that, we have to add the design costs, we have to add the construction administration. There's a number of things that need to be added to that as well, which brings us to that 2.9 number that Brennan just discussed.
well, isn't
So-
that on the bottom? It's got 1.278 Then there's the insurance, the profit, the contingency, the soft cost, design, permitting, and engineering.
No, we're going to have to go out and get this specifically designed again. This is just a conceptual plan. Just to give you a ballpark, it cost about $200,000 for Overlook to be designed, which is the more specific, like, these are the pieces that are going in. This is exactly where things need to go. Give construction documents to be able to bid it out. And we're anticipating that to be probably around $350 for design costs alone, that aren't included in that estimated probable cost. That's just construction costs for the playground itself.
So the $2,045,000 is just the construction costs
For the playground,
for the playground.
is what they're estimating it to be, yes.
And
But
yours
we
think-
have to pay a design company to actually put all of that documentation together. The specific plans that you see at the planning board, like those kinds of plans need to be developed by the engineering firm. And that we're estimating to be about $350,000.
So that's on top of this 2 million.
Correct.
So that gives us 2.4.
Ballpark.
So, a ballpark.
Ballpark, yep. Then we have construction administration, so again, for Overlook, that should have cost us about $85,000. Then there's a number of other costs that also come up through the project as well.
And also, this conceptual plan was done last year with this year's figures, so we've asked them to update it with our edits to the conceptual plan, but also updated pricing. So that 245 there, plus the 350, we're looking at probably $3 million now in escalation costs and things like that, so. But we hope, we wanted to start the conversation tonight. We're hoping to have an updated conceptual budget as well as plan that we will get to you as soon as we receive it, so that we can continue the conversation in January. We're not asking for any votes necessarily tonight on this one especially, but wanted to, we need to start that conversation.
Okay, so a couple more things?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. So on this document here, there's two 15s. Which one is the sensory station for smell, which one's for touch?
We've asked that to identify. That's one of our questions for them.
Okay. And so based upon the legend over here, we're looking at the size of the picnic area, about 60 feet across?
Based on the legend?
No, about 30 feet across,
Yeah.
right? Is that about accurate?
I'd say
30, 40,
40.
yeah, something like that,
Yeah,
give or take.
somewhere in there. I don't have a straight edge or ruler to,
No, I'm just kind of trying to eyeball it here, so 35 by 20, I guess, maybe?
Yeah, 20, 25, something like that.
Well, that's, I don't know, fine, okay. And then, so on top of that, so this is $4 million. The capital budget, the 10-year capital budget has 2.5, but it's got 500,000 for something else.
The bathrooms?
It's got $2.5 million for this. Then there's 250,000,
For the waiting pool?
no, 500,000 for the bathroom, and then 250,000 for the waiting pool. So that gets us to $3,250,000. How much pushback are we going to get from town meeting? Because this says $3,250,000, and we're going in at 4. Are there some of these other items here that we can give back and push them out? Because we're also taking the ceramics room and the slope mower. We've got those scheduled on the 10-year plan for 2028, so we're moving those forward. So we're going to have a discussion on how we're going to loosen the purse strings from town meeting, because we're actually looking for more money than what's on the capital budget plan.
Yes, so the playground, that was an estimate that went in there based on what we had at the time last year. So if we have to push something out, we'd be willing to discuss what gets pushed out. The playground is the priority next year.
Okay.
That 100% the priority.
No, and I understand that. I'm just looking at this
Yep.
from a position of, with all my time on town meeting, the questions that you're going to get asked of like, why, well, this is a lot more money than what we planned, and you're pulling something back. What's the justification for it? And then, as long as we have the answer
Yeah.
and we're comfortable with that answer, I'm comfortable with it. I forewarned is forearmed kind of a thing.
Yep, nope, I 100% agree, and starting the complete discussion now, right, so we can get all those questions, try to figure out what those questions are, so we have the appropriate answers, is, where we are at, why we are starting this now. But also, we will be able to have a better estimated probable cost based on the change that we did, but also using the current year's figures. I know they estimated for FY, did they estimate for 2026?
There's a 2025 escalation rate in there.
Okay, but not a
2026.
But not 2026. And we are only going to ask for, if it comes in at $3,750,000, we're not going to ask for $4 million, just ask for $4 million. We're going to ask for the probable costs. There might be a little added extra in there because we do go out to bid for this, and bidding always seems to come in a little higher than the monies that we put forward for projects.
It looks like this dated was 1/9/2024, so it's almost 2 years old.
Correct.
Good.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
So I was kind of going to pull on the thread that Greg started there. So again, just a quick bar napkin math from me was about $250K at an 8% escalation. So that gets you $500K over 2 years. What was the published date of the 10-year plan you're referencing?
This is last year's town
So
meeting.
this is
This is 2026 town meeting.
2025. 2026.
Fiscal year
Yeah,
2026.
2026.
And then on the
26.
estimate, I don't see the bathrooms on here. So is that's going to be, is that where the additional $500K is going to be? We think that's coming from, and that's the other cost driver here?
Yeah, I don't think it is.
Yeah, these numbers are just for the playground.
That's just playground, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, this is just a playground.
Gotcha.
And then
These
you'll
just
have just the
playground
waiting
numbers.
pool,
The bathrooms
and then,
The bathrooms are
are in there,
here.
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
at 500.
Renovating the pool and the bathrooms and Simon's accessible park renovations are here. That's $3,250,000.
Yeah, so I think maybe we're actually under what we need to ask for, truthfully, because if you're trying to do a new bathroom building and everything else, I don't think $500K is going to get you there.
Well, the building's not coming down, is it?
No.
Well, those are,
We talked about that.
yeah, that's, if you want to move to the bathroom portion of this now, we can do that.
Yeah, I don't want to leave the
because-
jury, let Commissioner Norton do his thing too.
Let's do this. I have one quick, so on this conceptual plan, Kelly, on the playground aspect of it,
Yep,
it being bigger,
yeah.
are we going any more left, going down to the buildings or towards the tree? Are we going, so?
That driveway will remain the same.
So where the waiting pool is,
Yep,
so we're going more right?
yep, we're going into the woods more where that picnic grove
Okay,
kind of is now.
How much more? Think? we taking down trees? That's the area where we're getting into a little.
We're probably
rock
double.
business.
I don't think we're taking down trees.
Okay.
Not unless they're in that pathway that
Correct.
gets to the pavilion in the back. Part of the playground is natural play, right? So like, we want to maintain the trees, we want to maintain the ledge. Kids have fun doing the
Exploring.
darndest things, and that's part of it, right? So we want to make sure that we keep those amenities in the playground for them to be able to do that with.
So there'll be, how many entrances? 2 entrances?
So it's showing 2 entrances here. I think when Brennan and I talked about it last, we've asked Weston and Sampson to do to provide us with 3 entrances. Moving the one from the parking lot kind of over on the walkway where it is now, whether it's right across from the bathrooms or maybe up closer to the parking lot, remains to be seen. And then adding an additional gate back where the pavilion is. So there'll be an entrance sort of on each one of those straightaways. Because we do feel like the water play area, that parents will want to go from that water play area to the wading pool splash area features, to be able to go back and forth. So we thought a gate there was important, so we left that one, but we were going to move the other one, as I said, down closer to the bathroom building, and then put one by the pavilion.
In the water aspect part, which I do like, which the community wants, and you say just like a water play area, so we'll be able to connect, the water should be there from the wading pool.
We should be able to
Be able
run
to
that,
connect
yes. And when we start talking about the wading pool, I think we could potentially be talking about keeping the wading pool as it is and adding some spray features, maybe where those picnic tables are, and we could connect some water lines there as well.
Okay. And you don't want it to be shooting water.
No, it's more like a bubbly kind of effect. The Rose Kennedy Greenway, I think I've seen a few
Yeah, I've seen
of
like,
them
I've
on,
gone
yes.
and they have like maybe a mist station there or
Yeah,
something
yep,
like that.
yep. Very light water play, nothing over the top.
As far as accessibility with handicap accessibility, so 100% of this playground will be handicap accessible, right?
That's our goal. Yep,
That's ultimately the goal.
yep.
Nothing will change as far as the parking in front. We're not going any more towards.
There is a sidewalk that they're adding, see where that number 17 along where the cars are, they're gonna add a sidewalk there, just to provide more accessibility and a walkway for parents with strollers, people in wheelchairs, whatever kind of needs they may have. We wanted to make sure there was a space there for people to be able to do that. Because right now, they're parking directly against the playground, and that is a little nerve-wracking.
So I mean, obviously, since I've been on, we've been talking about replacing this park since I've been on this board for 10 years. So, I mean, we need it. We definitely need it to be updated. I think the town wants it, but it's a big number. So, but I think you guys, and the way things are now as far as budgets go and stuff like that, but to the community, this is something that we need, so. And it's going to be a bigger park. The thing is, with the bathrooms, I think we should do it all at once. I think that would be the cheapest way. The bathrooms need to be done over. I think we can all agree with that. So if we could get a better number on the bathrooms, what do you think about that as far as that goes?
I agree.
Okay. So the bathrooms,
I know, if we're going to present this to town meeting, are we going to do it 2 different? Is it going to be, are we going to do one big number, or are we going to do 2 different numbers where we could go with
I think we
a
should-
separate with the playground separate, and then the bathroom separate?
That gives
So,
them a
like,
chance to
Gives them
shoot
a
them down, though.
chance to knock one down, you know what I mean? So like, if they're a little overwhelmed,
I think the granularity is important, right? Like to present in a way that, you can see the cost drivers and kind of almost like a line item of, hey, these are the big pieces of the project and this is where it's coming. Because if we throw one big number out there with a lot of, these are all the things we're going to do without that granularity, I think we'll run into that argument that I think Greg's trying to kind of tease out as he's asking the numbers.
I have a response to that. Respectfully, I think if you do that, you're inviting town meeting members to shoot down the bathroom. Instead of doing the whole thing all at once, you're giving them a golden opportunity. Let's vote for this one, but not that one. I think we
Right.
should package them all together. The chances of getting all three of them are better.
Yeah, I think that's our intent, to package them all together.
I think it would be cheaper for the town going forward, but,
If it's one large project.
Every
yes,
year you wait on these projects, it goes up 10%.
Right,
The high school that got voted down, that's going to go up 10% a year for the next 5 years. And it's going to cost us $450 million to do the high school. And I'm not even on the school committee anymore, I'm right. Yeah, I think we should present it all at once. I think we should make sure that whatever we're doing with the bathrooms, we're not going to need code variances or anything like that, because when the school committee wanted to put bathrooms out by the new football field 10 or 15 years ago when we did it all over, in order to comply with the code, we had to build this massive amount of toilets, like 15 for the boys and 15 for, we just couldn't do it. So I don't know if that's going to kick in here at Simons Park or no. We don't really have grandstand seating, and a lot of it is
Right.
based on grandstand seating. We do have some seating, but maybe we just run it by the plumbing department at the town hall and just say, is this something that we're going to be able to get, permits for without getting special variances?
yeah, so all of, that we will address that. That is definitely something that we're cognizant of as well. That right now, I think we have 3 stalls in each. Is there 3 stalls? I haven't been in the women's room really, so.
It's 2.
2 stalls, and then an accessible stall? So, and then the men's room is an accessible stall, 2 stalls, and 2 urinals. Do we need to match that? Do we need to add more? Can we do 3, what do they call them? Family style, use bathrooms? How do we do that? And our other options that we've looked at are self-cleaning restrooms that are, new technology, well, fairly new, that, person uses it, flushes the toilet, it cleans the toilet, rinses the toilet down, blows the toilet dry. We can set it every hour.
Well, every 20 uses.
20 uses,
Yeah.
cleans the floor, sprays out on the entire floor, blows it down, dries it down, lock the door so no one can go in, and takes care of that. Do we want to go that high-tech? Do we want to, demo the existing building and bring in precasts on the back of trucks that's not so high-tech as far as cleaning the toilets after each use? So those are things that we need to make a decision on. In the funding, obviously, there's variations in funding for each of those.
So can you get us the pricing on those various bathroom prices? Because I
Yes.
think that's very important,
Yeah,
that if we're going to package this together, that we know what the bathroom's going to. I personally think we should rip down the whole thing and start anew. That would be my personal opinion. I think it's outdated, and if we're going to do it, let's do it right, like anything else. That's my personal opinion. Anyone else on the board have an opinion?
No, I think that's the way I read it. That's why I was asking that 500K question initially when I read this and saying, hey, there's deficiencies here, here, and here. Where my mind went was, we're going to take this down and put something in its place. So if that's the intent, I guess that worked. But if not, then yeah, definitely need to understand where the cost comes from.
And on the automatic or the automated bathroom, we understand it is going to be more expensive from a construction standpoint, right? is there a cost benefit because the maintenance will be reduced? And how much do you think it would be reduced by? You know, how much are they cleaned now? How many hours a week does it take to clean them now? And will we save any of that over the life of the project? And, you know, if we don't tear the building down, what do we do with the concession stand that's in there? Do we need more bathrooms? Do we actually have any usage figures about how many people actually use Simons Park? And is there a need or a desire to take that concession stand and either get rid of it? Because that's completely backwards, the women's room versus the men's room on the number of facilities in each one, right? My first comment was we ought to switch them. Put the women's on the right now with the more toilets and put the men's on the left. But my other thought was get rid of the concession stand if we're not going to use it and expand the women's bathroom.
So currently, the concession stand is just used by Burlington baseball, softball. We don't use it for anything else. Years ago, we used to operate it while the wading pool was open, and you know, it was not a moneymaker because we had ice cream, you know, popcorn, things like that. Might have done hot dogs as well, but it wasn't, you know, we were paying more for staff than we were generating revenue. So it was, you know, it was a service. We looked at it as a service. This was when I worked for the department prior. When I left, did baseball pick it up, or someone ran it for a little while as like contracted?
We tried to contract the grandstand out. It still was running with a major deficit. So we made the decision to work with BBSA to contract it out to them, so that way they could have the concession there when games were going on.
And that's only when it's open, when there's games going on. And I know it's not always an easy thing to staff for them, in my conversation with them. So, that being said, maybe the concession stand goes away. Maybe we look at a different storage option for us. So right now, the storage for the bathrooms where all the supplies are kept is the little closet that's in between, you know, the back room between the men's and the women's room where all the pipes are, right? So that's where we store things. Maybe a larger storage area is in need, and both the bathrooms increase in size. We'll check with the plumbing inspector on the code, or the building inspector for the code on public restrooms in a park, you know, what the requirements are for, you know, number of toilets and sinks and things like that.
Would it be based on parking spaces?
Usually it's based on grandstand seating.
We don't have really seating, but like,
Yeah.
if we have three
There's
parks
grandstands.
full at the same time and all the parks,
Grandstands on both fields.
Yes, yeah, on all three fields, there's,
Three fields.
so we can inquire, we'll get that number. I wrote a note to make sure we get that number as well. There is not when we went through this with, so Overlook, a number of, no, when they were doing the parking lot over, I think below, down by the basketball courts and the basketball courts themselves, there was not a requirement for even parking spaces for the park.
Okay.
With the building department, but I'm sure when it comes to bathrooms, there probably is some kind of number.
well, I'm sure the codes have all changed since the last time we've done the bathroom up there, so you can guarantee things are definitely gonna be different.
Yes.
I think the century has changed. It's the last time we did anything in those
So,
bathrooms.
yeah, I mean, as the public knows that we gotta do this stuff, so, times here, so, okay, so that's, so get us.
So we'll get a code for the plumbing, and then we can ask for the conceptual estimated probable cost for a bathroom building.
From Weston Sampson?
Yeah. If they will provide it to us for that.
The school has some for Marshall Simons for a concession stand restroom that there was conceptual, so there may be some existing data on what a rough estimate would be for that.
So there's no restrooms going in down there at the new park, the new field?
All that's in flux, like basically how many stalls, where it's going to go. It's not all laying flat yet, definitely not.
Okay. 'Cause that would be good.
There is a formula for athletic complexes,
Okay.
But this isn't that.
but this is a park. So, but we'll start doing the homework on that.
All right, thank you.
I think it was a good starting point for a cost, just a ballpark cost, right?
All right, thank you, Ben. Next one?
So we talked about bathrooms a little bit. Is there any more questions on bathrooms? Looking, so the self-cleaning ones do come in, they're pre-made, they do come in on the back of a truck as well and are set down. Closest one for the company that we like is Albany.
Yeah.
They tell us, Albany, New York. And it literally, just like the one we put in at Rahanis years ago, it comes on the back of a flatbed, craned in the place. And you can take multiple of the modular units and put them together to create one larger as well. It's, you get the pad in place and the plumbing down, and they bring it on top of it. Technology is pretty cool,
Quick question, is there any communities around that you know of, or any other rec directors that have done a park recently, that have done like a new bathroom, or?
Not with that technology, we'd have to see locally. I
You
can't
could reach
think of
out
one
to maybe
locally.
some, I'd go look at them just to see, so I can get my, wrap my
Downtown
head around
Boston
it.
have any?
Not like this. No. So there's a precast concrete company, same one that we got the Rahanis one from back in the early 2000s. They tell us they did a state park on the South Shore, so we can see estimated cost on what that was. We can figure that out. Is it CXT?
I couldn't tell you, sorry.
So then, the last part of this is the wading pool. So the current wading pool is over 20 years old. It was early 2000s when I went in. It does need to be renovated, and the renovation will address structural and mechanical deficiencies, improve water circulation and filtration, ensure compliance with updated codes. On the back, the second 2 pages is our estimate from South Shore Gunite. They were out in October to look at the pool and provided us with this estimate. End of October, beginning of November, they came out and spent a good hour at the pool going through it. Total cost for this renovation would be $125,680. This does not include a cover. We have someone providing, the same company providing us with a cost for the cover. This project also, this is going out to bid, so this is our first estimate. Can't go by that, but that is the estimate we're using for our probable cost, I should say. I've been told that a cover, we're looking at probably $10,000 for a cover that, is custom to our pool. Our current cover has seen better days. So it is the original cover, I believe. So once we have the cover cost, we can add that to the cost to renovate the pool.
It's got an awful lot of conditions in here that's not
Yeah.
accepting, isn't it?
Yeah, right.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, we would have the specs drawn up, like this is what the company gives. We would have the specs drawn up. And when it goes out to bid, it's what the, the responsive bidders have to go by, fulfill the specs that we put out, and go by the town's contract.
Okay.
How big is the pool?
Ooh, 25,000 gallons? Yeah.
Square footage? Because it's a
round.
pool,
Yep.
right? So if it's, how deep is it?
3 feet?
3 feet.
3 feet in the middle.
3 feet in the middle.
It's a gradual incline, decline.
So the average is about 18 inches, right?
Probably, yes. Yeah. Yes, if it's 3 feet in the middle, yeah.
25,000 gallons.
Ready to move on?
Yep. Any questions on the pool?
Nope.
Move on, Brandon. Next.
Okay, Kelly, ceramics room.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize that was next. So the ceramics room, we are looking to renovate the existing ceramics room to create a versatile, modern programming space that better supports the community's needs. As you may be aware, we are not running or operating any ceramics programs anymore. We haven't since before COVID. So we have the ceramics room area, and we have the kiln space in the back. So we would like to remove the kilns from that area and create a teaching kitchen in that general area back there, which would allow for some cooking classes, which we don't currently offer now. It's one of the things on the list that the community is looking for. We have tried in the past to offer classes in our function room, which connects to like a galley kitchen, but there's not enough room in that galley kitchen to actually cook anything. So like you can bring one person in at a time and they can cook and then come back out into the function room, and it's not very functional for those kinds of classes. So we would like to turn that back space into a kitchen. We would keep that front space as programming space, so that we would be able to still offer programs in that room, like Dungeons and Dragons, our chess program, some STEM programming, so that the room becomes more versatile and better for our current needs. We imagine the galley kitchen as it exists now would become a storage area for us, since we have one storage closet in our building for all of our programming needs. So we imagine the galley kitchen becoming a storage area with some shelving to be able to keep our programming supplies and equipment in that area on site. So we aren't running up to Overlook every week trying to get what we need for programs. I think that's the nuts and bolts of it. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Any questions, commissioners?
Just if the kiln equipment is still serviceable and can be repurposed, if there's maybe something the school could use, I don't know, maybe in that.
They would be, yeah, if someone in town, within the town system wanted them first. If not, they would go out on municipal bid. Their original kilns, we had repairs done on them here and there, but finding someone to repair them
So it's
was
not working.
becoming harder and harder. Correct. They're not new state-of-the-art kilns. They're probably 30 years old, at least 40, maybe. So we,
If there's any value in trying to repurpose it, that's all.
yeah.
So,
Commissioner Ryan?
looking at the 10-year plan on this, I'm going to assume, because I've only been here 6 months or so, a lot of things have already been discussed with this board, right? And so I don't want to rehash any of that, but my only question is, I'm going to go right back to, we're pulling this forward, because it's in the capital budget plan for 2028. How are we going to address that with town meeting, especially when we're asking for the 4 million? That's my question on that one, and that's going to be my same question on the vent track. right? So if the previous folks decided it was something we needed, then I'm okay with that. I don't like to swing and miss.
Right.
So I want to make sure we've got our ducks in a row when it comes to why do we need this? Why are we pulling it forward instead of keeping it with the capital budget plan? We're going to move things out to make up for the cost difference, just so that we've got that going.
Can I follow up on that?
Commissioner Nelson?
I think a lot of that, Greg, is a good point. I have a similar concern, but I think some of it will depend on what our cut is of the warrant article budget when Brendan gets that information. Some years it's 3 million, and, you know, each department is told, you're going to get 500, you're going to get this. I can't imagine they're going to say your budget is going to be 4 million plus these other things.
Correct, but if they say it's not going to be 4 million, we want to be prepared with
Backups?
backups
Yeah.
that can be.
That's a good point. If they vote down the 4 million,
proceeded
we've got
with.
the other 5 or 6 items
Right,
that are
there's,
important.
yeah, there's 375 there, I think, 375,000.
Yeah, they can always vote these down for the same reasons you mentioned, Greg, if we get the 4 million.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
that room has to be done over anyway, and we make money on new programming going in there, stuff that we haven't been able to do for a while, especially on the cooking part of it. So I have no problem with if, you know, this price going forward, even though we move it forward. Being on this board as I have been, we've moved stuff up from 4 years, you know, like, especially on the maintenance side. Something breaks, vehicles, especially on the mowers and stuff like that. I mean, they break constantly, but we gotta bring stuff up.
Oh, I
from-
understand that. and
Yeah, I'm just,
trying-
I know where you're going, but like, that's why sometimes we'll bring stuff up from, that's something that's, you know, 5 years down the road. I think Kelly's looking more for, you know, as far as programming, if we can renovate that room, because we don't really use it for ceramics anymore, that we can update it and make it more to today's, what our programming needs for the kids and adults alike, so I'm fine with that. Any other questions on that?
No, and I kind of see this as a first reading too, like, hey, what are we looking to put forward? And we can always remove things as we move along, and I think the only question, we'll get to that because we haven't got that one yet. For the vent track, is that, you know, out of a, because I hear it frequently as I visit fields, you know, asking why things aren't mowed and so on and so forth, so I think that kind of falls into that bucket as well, right?
Yeah. So the next one would be the sidearm mower?
Yes, sidearm mower attachment's been on our list for a number of years. Became a priority as we started to clear fence lines. This is a boom. You see them on the sides of the highways and stuff. In a lot of communities have them, where it keeps the road edge clear of brush growing in. We have fences around all of our athletic fields and around many of our parks, and staying on top of the cutting of the brush that's coming in, the branches and the invasives that creep in. We do not have anything like that now, so having the sidearm attachment for a John Deere would allow us to get over the fence lines at fields such as Rotary, Marvin, TRW. The fields, you know, TRW has a walking path, and the whole side that kind of faces down the hill towards Sunrise grows over, and we're constantly, as well as the roadside up on Mall Road is growing in. Around the back field at Center School as well, grows over. A lot of people don't know there's a fence there on the left side looking out at the baseball field. There is a fence line there. So this will help us maintain the fence lines and hopefully, maintain or keep the longevity, increase the longevity of the fences so they're not getting invaded. So it's $25,000 for the sidearm attachment.
I'm in favor of that, because just Rotary alone is worth, because Rotary really gets taken over, these fences. I mean,
Yeah.
balls get stuck in there, in the middle of the field. You sit at a softball game and the ball's stuck in there, they can't get it out, they're
Comiskey
screaming.
Park.
Yeah, so.
So
I mean,
last
that's
year, to start the season, we had a company come in and clear the fence line, a
I
tree
saw
company.
that, yeah.
They did a phenomenal job. And it wasn't probably until August where it really started to kind of get back towards the fence. But if we had the sidearm, could have gone through twice, once in July, the beginning, once in the beginning of August, and taken it down. So Greg's home runs wouldn't get
No,
caught up
I mean,
in that.
I've noticed that myself.
That's your field,
especially-
right?
That's
especially
my
at Ro-
field, yeah.
Especially at Rotary.
All right, let's go.
I always hit my home runs over and never really got stuck. It was always over.
Yeah.
That was many, many years ago. But anyway, all right, thank you on that. The next one- Any
Excuse me.
questions on the side? The next one?
Next
Brendan?
one is the Ventrac. We have two Ventracs. They are used every season, most of the time at the same time. We have a number of attachments. They're very versatile equipment. We have leaf blowers on them. We have spreaders on them for sanding and spreading during winter. We have snow blower attachments for them. We have multiple cutting decks for them. We have ball field grooming attachments for them as well. One of them is staged at Simons Park throughout the summer. So starting in May through September. We have rough cut decks that go down and do the woods, disc golf course, that area at Simons. And they are both slope mowers. One of them has 4 wheels in the back, 2 on each side, which gives it stability. So it goes out and does behind the bleachers at Varsity Field, the hillside at Marshall Simons along the school. So it is moved around town. And then the other one, like I said, stays at Simons. The original one will get the hours on the machine, but that is costing us more and more. Each time something goes wrong with it, we are spending more and more money. And it is up, it's 15 years old, it's ready to be replaced before we lose it altogether.
Any questions on that?
Nope.
No, I just think you hit the nail on the head, Brendan, just rolling up that maintenance cost of the last, 3 to 5 years where it's becoming, negatively impact the budget or something that I think would help tell the story also.
Can you just get us pictures of what the new ones
Sure.
would look like, so we have a concept? Usually you bring that to us. when
Yeah,
we vote on it.
yes, so the design on these hasn't changed, but I will get up-to-date pricing on each of these. I wanted to, again, have the discussion tonight and starting these so that we know the questions that we'll ask of the vendors and getting us all the information that's requested here.
Thank you.
To Jeremy's point on the maintenance escalation, do you keep track by vehicle, how much the maintenance costs? Or do you do most of the maintenance in-house, so it's kind of buried in there?
So we do the majority of the maintenance in-house, the day-to-day, greasing the fittings, oil changes, things like that. We have had to send it out before if there's a gear issue or we've had to replace an engine on one. So the newer one has a newer engine as well. And, plugs, things like that, we take care of. If it's something that we cannot, diagnose, then it will go to the dealer.
Okay, so do you, other than anecdotally, right, I mean, if you've got this 15-year-old mower and you've got somebody spending 5 hours a week on that mower, keeping it going, versus a new mower, they spend 37 seconds. So you're not just spending any more money, you're just getting less done because you've
Their
got
manpower is.
we have that manpower issue. And my only question on this is there any way that that's quantifiable?
Mean time between failure, probably. Just how much time you have it in the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will see if we can quantify it.
Yeah, because, because if you, again, to his point, if you see this escalation going, and if it's $50,000 for a new one, and after year 10, the amount of maintenance is replacing, you're spending that much in maintenance on it due to lost time doing something else, then it might make sense to get them sooner.
Correct.
If we can quantify it.
Yep.
Any other questions? Nope. Thank you, Brandon. Next one?
Okay, the next two are articles that we put forward. The first one is athletic field improvements, $200,000. Would be the third year for the request. The funds will be used for the improvement of athletic fields and outdoor facilities in our parks, playgrounds, school properties. Projects for this year that we're looking at will include repairing irrigation system at Wildwood, installing new irrigation boxes at Memorial, Rotary, TRW, Upper Simons and Francis Wyman, and then potentially some fencing around the athletic fields as well, and then continuing with our maintenance program for the athletic fields. And that request has been $200,000 for the 3 years, each of the 3 years we've requested.
Questions on that?
Just a real quick one. What's an irrigation box? It's just a distribution
It's
area?
it's the control box. So it's usually stainless steel, weather tight, that houses the control panel, all the electronics. And then there's usually a second one that houses the backflow valve in the water meter. So the backflow keeps the system from flowing back into the clean treated water that goes into it. So there's usually two, putting the electrical in
Kind of the brains of the system. We're not putting
Correct.
in new pipes, we're just putting in
Correct.
new brains. Okay.
Yep. In all of our systems, we'll be replacing valve boxes as well. So those are out in the field, usually the plastic boxes that you might see a green cover off the side of the playing surface, where the water comes up the main line, the valve tells it when to open on that line and when to close, and then it moves up the line more, tells the next one when to open, when to close. We have some of those have had wiring issues or, valve issues. We might need to replace the valve altogether, going to standard valves across our system. It was part of our irrigation assessment that was done.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Quick question, Brendan. So they're going to ask us at town meeting, are we using, last couple of years, the full 200,000 and the full 50,000 on the budget going? So they're going to so we can present that to them where the money's going.
Yep.
So when we ask for this every year, all right, just make sure that we got our toes in the right order on that one. Any questions on either one of those? Do you want to talk about the trees, or we can? It's still the
Well,
same.
the next one's fences, walkways, and trees. So it's the same request as last year,
As
50,000.
long as we're spending the money,
Yep.
and I know we have been, that's the one thing the town
Yeah.
meeting,
So-
they need to be done, so.
Chair,
Good,
just
John.
fences, walkways, and trees, is this going to be a joint school committee rec one again? Because I know we had plussed up previously. Do we want to do that again? Do we want to explore that?
So the schools kept their own, got their own for 50. So ours goes to 3 different things: fences, walkways, and trees. So we've replaced some fencing in our parks that's non-athletic field fencing, so park fencing. We've done some tree work, but I know the schools have a list of trees that they've taken care of with their funds as well. Theirs is just trees. So
Yeah, we broached the subject before. I didn't know if you wanted me to bring that back to school committee, is why I'm asking.
if they're interested and want to share their list of tree work and trust us to manage that, we can do that. Some of the money is more of like that emergency, because we do have tree issues that come up, right? We have storms, we have wind storms, ice storms. If our staff can't, if the tree is too large, our staff cannot handle it, then we have to find the money to do that.
All right, Brendan, thank you on all those warrant articles. So there's a lot there. And So just on the next meeting, so you'll get your capital budget numbers this week?
Tomorrow, we meet and discuss capital budget with town administration,
Okay.
our capital requests. We'll have a better idea of
we
where they
stand.
will, where they will want us to go, and then we'll bring it back to the commission and, answer the question, provide the backup, answer the questions that you have asked tonight, and continue to move forward in our capital planning.
Any other questions on warrant articles for fiscal year '27? Thank you, Brendan. Old business?
Through the chair, I did
Yeah.
have one piece of new business. I've been asked by a constituent to approach the committee and see if they are willing to conduct meetings over a WebEx to allow more public participation. So I've been asked to make a motion to do so or gauge the committee's view on that.
Okay. You pulled forward a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion.
My question is, do we need a motion?
I don't know, that's the one thing I didn't really,
Who discussed
Yeah, we
this?
discussed
Yeah,
this a
we
little
discussed
bit,
this 2 meetings ago.
okay.
when you
Yeah.
weren't able to attend. And I think, Brendan, you were interested in moving forward without any formal policy change.
Yeah,
I wasn't
I-
sure if we needed to adopt
Yeah, I
a
just, again, I
policy.
missed that, so I just want to make sure.
Brendan didn't think we
close the loop
needed
on
to
it.
do a policy. It's a little bit more work for Brendan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought we were waiting for Jeremy, so all 5 were here, and now Lindsay's not here. So I'm just repeating what the discussion was at that point when Jeremy wasn't here, so I don't know.
My suggestion would be we put it on the agenda in January for our next meeting.
Works for me.
And people will know
Yeah.
it's going to be discussed and
I think that was over. Yeah,
Discuss
so
it and
put that
whether
on
we
the
need
a
next
policy
meeting
change or
agenda, and
something.
we'll discuss it if we have to vote on it. And if maybe talk to the town and see if we can just put it on, we come, I know we got to put it on the,
The WebEx can be scheduled with
WebEx.
the room, and the camera equipment is here, so it's just a matter of, making sure that is left in place when we come in, I think would be.
Make sure the TVs are on, and any laptop, you can use it, right? As long as you've got the access.
yeah. So they just need an access number, right?
Yeah.
So we'd make
Well,
that public?
Yeah. Yes.
It's up to the public person to find out what that number is. We post it,
Yeah,
and then,
post with the meeting post.
It would be on our agenda, and we would also need, we have to have someone to operate it during the meeting as well. So, which one of us could do it while we're participating, and
Can Julie do it?
we could see, yeah.
Yeah.
So that,
Julie do it.
someone can see if there's any online participants that want to participate, and all of our meetings are recorded and shown anyways,
Yeah.
but if there's anyone that wants to participate,
So we use it at planning board. And so Liz and
Caleb.
Caleb. And Caleb's, he's the one that, because everyone, you can see everybody on the screen. Somebody raises their hand, they want to talk. Everyone's muted until they get unmuted by Caleb. So it's really, it's not a lot of work to manage the process.
they only talk during public participation?
That's the
Yeah.
only, yes, that's
Yeah.
the only time. And
At the beginning of public participation, they can come on and speak, and then, once we get into our meeting, they're not raising their, hey, I want to talk about whatever we're talking about.
correct.
Okay.
Correct. Well, with the planning board, we'll have proponents for a building come in, and so we'll ask them during the meeting, right? So we'll have different
Multiple,
opportunities inside the meeting.
The different things, yep.
I think that they can speak on any item that's on the agenda, not
Yes.
just public participation. If there's an item on the agenda and you go through the commission, we all make our comments, then the chair opens it up to the audience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for every single
Yeah,
item.
if someone has their hand raised, then
Yeah,
you
every
call
single
it if
item on
they
the
have,
agenda, the chair has to
want to talk about
recognize
that
it.
item.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I've never come across that, so, okay,
So-
that's fine.
All right.
So we'll, all right. Yep,
I'll
that's
add it
fine.
to the agenda for January, and hopefully everyone is here and we can discuss it.
Okay.
What's the date for January's meeting? Because I do have some work travel for January, too.
Figure that out at the end.
Okay.
Almost there.
Now old business.
New business, old business,
Old
Yep.
business.
yeah, sorry.
So at our December 3rd meeting, we discussed warrant article for January town meeting and our application for a municipal ADA improvement grant through the Mass Office of Disability. As I emailed you, unfortunately, we were not successful, so we will be proceeding with a request for $250,000 to add the engineered items back into the Overlook renovation project. We provided the breakdown to you in the email if anyone had any additional questions. So the plan is to proceed at January town meeting with this request.
We already voted on it.
Yeah, we voted on this
Yep.
last time.
Yeah,
Yep, I just wanted to
I mean, it's too bad we
update.
didn't, you know, you put a lot of effort into it, Kelly, I know, to get that grant. It's unfortunate that we didn't get it, but we still got to go in front of the town and get this money, so.
Yep.
Next one, Brandon?
Yeah, you want to do this one?
So the next one is a sensory trailer. We were able to attend the Disability Access Commission meeting this morning, and they reaffirmed their vote to support the sensory trailer initiative. So they have committed to $25,000 for the trailer. So at town meeting, instead of the $50,000 we had initially thought we would be asking for, we'll be asking for $25,000 to supplement the sensory trailer.
good news.
Yeah, it's great news, right?
Fantastic.
We got to amend our vote or anything like that? No? It's just, we just asked for 25 in the warrant instead of
That-
50.
Right.
Yeah,
We're
That's-
just going to confirm that with the town administration tomorrow during our meeting about capital items.
Okay.
Yeah, if we need to take a vote, we can do it that night. Or do you want to take it, do you think we should take the vote tonight?
Well, it went from 50 to 25. I don't know how it works.
we could,
We've already submitted it, right? It's been
Yeah, we-
submitted
right,
because we
yeah.
had a deadline.
we could take it tonight, so it's there,
So we have it.
so we have it.
All right, Mr. Chair, I move that the commission vote to amend the warrant article that was submitted at our last meeting for a sensory trailer in the original amount of $50,000, and that amount be reduced downward to $25,000.
I have a second.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor, say aye.
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 400. Thank you, Brendan, on that.
Mhm.
Good job getting that 25,000, that's always huge.
And thank you to the Disability
Yeah,
Access Commission.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. They're very supportive of recreation, and their continued support is greatly appreciated. Any need for an executive session, Brendan?
No.
Next is the all-important next meeting. Jeremy, we'll go to you first. What sort of aligns with you?
20 to 23, I'm on work travel. 19 to 24, I'm on work travel, so that third week of January, I'm out.
Brendan, what's good on you and
The
Kelly's?
19th is Martin Luther King Day, so that's no offices are closed. So the 12th? January
I'm good with
12th.
any day, I got nothing going on. Stupid show.
That's fine. I work-
12th?
I can do it.
I can do the 12th.
12th, good,
Looks like a
so
winner.
we'll say the
You're not
12th, we'll get an
available, Jeremy?
email out to
Oh,
Lindsay.
you are? Oh, good. All right.
Hopefully she can make that
112.
night.
6 o'clock?
26, I got
Yep.
used to writing 26.
12th, 6, same bat time, same bat channel.
20, so the 12th. Here, Brendan?
Yes, as long as it's available, I'll let everyone know.
What's the date of town meeting?
The 26th.
26th, okay. We having a meeting that day?
We may, if we need it.
Might as well. Want to lock that in now, before town meeting?
I think that's a good idea.
To date.
And we'll do it down by, where did we do it last time? I forget. It was
Did it up
different-
at
We
Cafeteria.
did cafeteria I think, the last time, or right across from the cafeteria in that room. But I'll find a room for January
So
26th.
town meeting's at 7 or 7:30?
They've been doing them at 7 lately.
7
Yeah.
o'clock. it
You
starts.
want to say
We'll say 6
6:30?
o'clock,
Six, yeah,
6:30?
usually
What was the date again?
That's good. You want 6:30 or 6?
January
26, I
26th.
missed the date.
Yep.
Thanks.
6:30?
6:30 or 6, Brenda?
6:30, just in case we have any business to tie up.
6:30 on the 26th. That usually doesn't last long, but
All right.
can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned.